we're back with Chris Edmonston, and he runs the Boat US Foundation. We've had him on many of our episodes and talking about the great works that the foundation does. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about boat donating. So, Chris, tell me about your boat donation program and how that can help the foundation.
Sure. Yeah, that's it's another one of our program that started from people just calling us up and wondering what they can do with their boat. You'd be amazed at how many people either get to a point in their life where they can't go boating anymore, or they inherit a boat, or something happens that they have a boat and they just can't figure out what to do with it. And we would get call after call after call, and we decided to start taking boats in for boat donations. And that points to a larger problem with boating, and that's boat disposal. And one of the things that we work with really close to your home is boat recycling. We have a program with the Rhode Island Marine Trades where they're taking old boats and grinding them up and using them to fuel incinerators and cement plants.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I've seen that. It's a great program out of Rhode Island.
Sure. Derelict and abandoned vessels are a national problem, and it's really kind of a black eye on the boating community because people who don't know what to do with their boat tend to abandon them. And we're trying to develop a program that we can take these unwanted boats and repurpose them. We have a program coming up with the Arson Institute, where we're taking boats that have been donated and we're setting them on fire in different ways so that arson investigators can see what is a real fire and what is a set fire. We've done boat crash tests so we can see what happens when boats crash and how that impacts passengers with our donated boats. Most recently, we've been taking some of the donated boats and using them as training platforms. So we have taken some of our boats, we have several Boston whalers that we've lent to training centers so that they can teach people how to operate on the water. That's a great program. We also take boats and we use the funds from selling them to fund our programs. So really it's, again, I hate to sound repetitive, but we're trying to take a holistic view of the whole end of life use of boats. How do we keep them from being abandoned on a shoreline somewhere? What can we do to repurpose them? What can we do to keep these boats with value? How do we use them to their best purpose? And it's been a very, very good program for us. We have lots of boats, and we use them all the time for training. We use them to partner with the Coast Guard and the Maryland State Marine Patrol to do DUI tests, to do sample or test boardings and things like that. We do all kinds of things with donated boats, and what a great program it's been for us.
So you're not talking just sort of gently used boats. You're not talking boats that you would resell for fundraising. You're talking boats that you could be used, as you said, to demo a fire situation or a crash situation.
Right.
So you take any boat?
Well, we unfortunately we turned down more boats than I would like to, simply because the economics aren't there. Somebody wants to donate us a sailboat from Iowa. It's not really cost effective for us to move it or do anything with it there. But we try to use the boats for good purposes. We have transferred numerous boats to other nonprofits for them to use locally if we can't take it to one of our central locations. And we're really trying to figure out a way that we can develop a national program so that somebody from anywhere can figure out what to do with their boat and not have to abandon it.
So talk about I'm sure there's a tax benefit for that
Yep.
the person donating
Sure.
the boat? How does that work?
Well, I would say many of the boats we take in, there might be something wrong with it. Maybe an engine doesn't work great. Maybe it
Right.
needs new canvas work on it.
Sure.
Maybe it's been damaged or some sort, and people don't want to put the money into it only to sell it for less than what they put into it. We can typically take the boat, and what happens when you donate a boat is the boat gets appraised, and you get that for a write-off. And what we will often do is fix the boat up a little bit, use it for our purposes, or sell it. And it's something that really we try to make it as easy for a donor to deal with as we can. We arrange for just about everything to be done.
I mean, that's quite the
So,
undertaking. How do you handle the back end of that? How is that staffed?
well, that is one of the problems. We do have a third party facilitator that has multiple sites up and down the East Coast, and
Okay.
most of our donations come from the East Coast, and we have a network of shippers that will pick up a boat for us. But I have been known, and people on my staff have been known to get behind the wheel of a car and
Hmm.
grab a trailer and go grab a boat.
Is that in
So
your job
we're
description when you took the job? Go pick
yeah
up a boat, Chris. Would you? Whatever it takes,
yeah
wherever it breaks, right? Sure.
yeah as required, duties
Yeah,
as required. That's
as
definitely my
required.
job description.
All
Yeah.
right, so I have a boat.
So
I
yeah.
decided, and that's a very good point, right? Yeah, I put some dough into it. Maybe it's time for a new boat.
Yep.
You know, you could do the trade-in thing, but that might not have the value. I go to the website and I
Right.
start the process. That's the way to go, right? And then I get a nice tax deduction at the end of the road.
Yep. Yeah, and we can organize it in a bunch of different ways. Let's say someone still owes money on their boat. We could pay off the note, and you would get out from underneath
Hmm.
the burden of paying off the boat, and you'd still get a partial tax write-off, not for the whole boat, but for the difference. And that works out well for some people too.
Give me your best donated boat and your not so great donated boat story. Um,
Oh,
what do you
goodness.
got for me?
We a couple of years ago, a gentleman who was in software development
Ah,
sold his company
hmm.
and decided that he would rather donate his 58-foot Hatteras to us than pay the IRS one more cent than he had to.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So
So is that where did that one go? Does that go back on the market? Do you sell that and
what
funds go to the foundation?
so
You don't have
that
to
yes,
tell me,
that's what
if the
yeah.
thing's in your backyard, you don't have to tell me, but just
No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. I would like it. It's actually in Florida right now. It's been kind of held hostage because of COVID.
okay.
But our plans are to move it up here to Annapolis and sell it.
Nice.
And honestly, the thing that breaks my heart is when we have a widow or a child of a older boater who passed away, and they just don't know what to do with the boat.
Yeah.
And those are tough. I had a gentleman who bought a Columbia sailboat brand new in the late '60s and still had it in the family, and he passed away. And you know, they wanted to donate the boat. The boat's in
And that
perfect
was
shape, but
probably
there's
my guess is, you get these situations where they're labor of love projects. The guy's been working on it and he happens
sure,
to pass or just can't, due to physical
right,
limitations, can't move on it anymore and they have to move it. But I'm sure your boat's going to good
yeah,
hands, and it sounds like, it's not like just one of these sell your junk car things. They go to good works, and that's interesting that it would be used. You don't think about that, how to really
right,
teach or fire prevention or crash prevention. You've got to crash and burn a boat, right?
right, yeah, yeah. That's it's really it's fun to do that, and you do learn a lot. And one of the interesting things for me is uh, we kind of talked about it at another time that boating has gotten a lot safer over the years. And I think a large part of that is boats today are built so much better than they were 20, 30, 40 years ago. And the boats you buy today, especially if it's NMMA certified, are really well built boats, and they're a lot safer than probably they'll hold up in worse situations than you want to be in. So kudos to the boating industry.
Yeah, and amazingly so. They're lighter as well. It's just, new construction composites make these boats super safe. That's for sure.
Yep. We've done several boat tests or boat fire tests, and we've done fire extinguisher tests. And my only advice to people is, if there's a fire on your boat, just jump in the water.
Get off the boat.
It's almost impossible to put out a fiberglass fire.
Right. Yeah, and it burns dark and fast. That's for sure.
And hot.
And hot. Chris, thanks again for your time. And folks out there, right? If you have a boat and it's been in the yard for a while and you don't quite know what to do with it, get in touch with the Boat US Foundation.
Give us a call.
Chris will find a way to help you out.
Yep.
Chris, thank you.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I appreciate your time. It's been wonderful talking with you.
The Drift Podcast can be found at driftsociably.com or where all fine podcasts are heard. Boat US has been looking after the interests of recreational boaters for over 55 years. Our goal? To make boating better, safer, and worry-free. From coast to coast and over 600 towboats strong, the Towboat US fleet is the nation's largest. So when you need help on the water, you're not alone. For a day of worry-free boating, take us with you by downloading the Boat US app to get a tow or check weather and tides. Better boating starts here. Join today.